What's up, Bears Nation? The Chicago Bears just wrapped up their first week of training camp, capped off with an off day today. And in today's video, I'll be showing you guys every single video highlight I have of camp so far and giving you guys my top 5 takeaways from the first week of Bears training camp. So stay tuned for all of the highlight videos, and I'm gonna try to rapid fire go through my top 5 takeaways. And counting down, my number 5 takeaway is that Kyler Gordon and Jaquan Brisker are primed for a breakout season. Now, during the first 4 days of camp, I have heard more explosive plays from Kyler Gordon than I have from Jaquan Brisker. However, the reports from both of them are pretty similar. They both look way more advanced than they were last year. Kyler Gordon specifically has had his instincts on full display. If you guys have been keeping up with my videos, I've talked about that in multiple of them, but he's been blowing up screens, he's been jumping on routes, he's been breaking up passes, he's looking like he's a potential star cornerback in the NFL. Obviously, we're not going to know until the games are played. We're just judging based off of what we have now, but so far it seems like they're making a massive leap. As far as Jaquan Brisker goes, his confidence is through the roof. Remember, last season he missed some of camp and preseason with a broken thumb, and he didn't exactly live up to his own personal expectations his rookie year either. I think both Jaquan Brisker and Kyler Gordon are going to have a massive season for the Bears this year. Now, my number 4 takeaway is that the second cornerback opposite of Jalen Johnson is a full-out competition between both rookies, Tyreke Stevenson and Terrell Smith. It was originally believed that Tyreke Stevenson was the shoo-in for the starting position. However, Matt Eberflus confirmed that there will be a competition for the cornerback 2 spot. Tyreke Stevenson was drafted higher. The Bears actually traded up to get him, and Terrell Smith was a 5th round draft pick. However, at the end of the day, it is the coach's job to put the best players on the field. So yes, you would like for Tyreke Stevenson to be the starter, as we did give up draft capital to move up and get him. We drafted him pretty high, so you want him to live up to his full potential. But again, they are both rookies, and it's not like Tyreke Stevenson has to be a superstar this year in order to be worth the draft pick. You would just like to see him live up to the hype, live up to the potential that Ryan Poles saw in him when he moved up on draft night to get him. With all of that being said, if Terrell Smith shows out during camp and proves that he is the better player out of the two, then he will win the position. Tyreke Stevenson has been getting the first team looks earlier, but Terrell Smith has been rotating in with the first team, and yesterday he even started with the first team on 7-on-7s before Tyreke Stevenson. So that's going to be a camp battle to watch all camp long, all the way through the preseason. I think Tyreke Stevenson has the edge because he was drafted higher, but Terrell Smith has every opportunity to win that spot. Now for my 3rd takeaway for the first week of training camp, and that is Justin Fields has more weapons than I've ever seen a Bears team have in all my years of being a Bears fan. Everybody knows who DJ Moore is and what he can do in the NFL, and he's showing all of that and more in camp, but a little bit of a hint, I'll get to that in just a bit. But Darnell Mooney and Chase Claypool are his wide receivers 2 and 3s. They have put on in the NFL before. They're going to be reliable targets for Justin Fields. Chase Claypool has been looking like a freak of nature athletically during camp so far. Velus Jones Jr., who was a 3rd round draft pick last year, he's turning heads during camp. He's looking extremely explosive, has had multiple touchdowns, is gaining chemistry with Justin Fields. That's really great to hear. And then 4th round draft pick this year, Tyler Scott, is turning heads with his blazing speed, drawing comparisons to previous Bears wide receiver Johnny Knox. So it's really great to hear that Justin Fields is lighting it up with 5 different wide receivers in camp right now. And even wide receivers 6 and 7, Dante Pettis and Equinemius St. Brown, obviously they're not superstars in the NFL, but they've had plenty of touchdowns, plenty of yards, they've had plenty of experience. So the fact that they're your wide receiver 6 and 7 when last year they were your wide receiver 1 and 2 for multiple games, oh my gosh, Justin Fields' wide receiver core from this year to last year is night and day. But it doesn't even stop there, because during camp, I have heard Robert Tonyan's name time and time and time again. Yesterday, he had like 3 or 4 times where he was scoring with Justin Fields. And Cole Kmet just signed his contract extension, He's coming off of a breakout season with 7 touchdowns, which was 4th in the NFL for tight ends. He has a great 1-2 punch at tight end now, and once you put that in the mix with all of the wide receivers he has, on paper, this is the most loaded wide receiver and tight end room that I've ever seen as a Bears fan. Once again, they have to prove it once the season starts, but so far out of camp, Justin Fields has so many weapons, it's not even funny. Now, moving on to my second takeaway from the Bears camp so far, the vibes around the team are wonderful and the optimism is in the air. If you watched my previous video, or if you haven't watched that after this one, but in the beginning of the video I showed the reports from this time last year during camp, and they were absolutely terrible. The offense was looking terrible, and so for once it's a breath of fresh air to know that the Bears are actually looking great in camp. They're looking like a competent NFL team. They're looking like the big market team that they always should have been. Everybody on the team is on the same page. Everybody knows that the mission this season is to win football games. Obviously, talk is cheap. We know this. We know talk is cheap. They have to prove it. I'm not saying that the Bears won anything. What I am saying is that the vibe around the team is just different. Everybody's saying it's just different. The players are saying it's different. The media, the journalists who have covered this team for decades are saying that this year just feels different. The players have amazing chemistry. Justin Fields and DJ Moore are already best friends. There's already chemistry with guys like Mooney, Chase Claypool, the backup guys. The offensive line is coming together. The defense is coming together. Even the new guys like DeMarcus Walker are stepping up and being a leader. Everybody on the team has one goal, where we finally have an identity as a team and we are sticking to the game plan. All offseason, Matt Eberflus and Ryan Poles have made an emphasis on the type of players they wanted to bring in: athletic freaks who love the game of football and are high character men, and so far it seems like the plan is working. Now I have one final takeaway before I show you guys all of the highlights I have compiled from the first 4 days of camp, and my number one takeaway is that DJ Moore and Justin Fields are starting to look like a potential top 10 quarterback wide receiver duo. Everybody around the NFL knows that DJ Moore has had multiple 1,000-yard seasons as a wide receiver, but the reports out of camp are that he's impressing even more than reporters have expected. That is a very, very, very high praise, for the simple fact that he was already expected to be a major boost in the offense. He was already expected to be a bona fide number 1 wide receiver. And the fact that the reporters are still impressed by him, that says a lot. Again, it's just training camp. The pads are not even on. We know it doesn't mean anything. We know they have to do it on the field. We know they have to do it against other teams. But so far, based off of what we have seen, DJ Moore is looking like a superstar wide receiver who is going to make Justin Fields a better quarterback. And the crazy thing is, Justin Fields has been throwing passes that are so good to where only DJ Moore can catch it, and DJ Moore is so good at contorting his body and making wild catches. It's just seeming like a match made in heaven. There's been plenty instances in camp where Justin Fields needed a play to be made and he just threw it to DJ Moore and DJ Moore still caught it. There have been instances where guys like Jalen Johnson have played great defense on DJ Moore and Justin Fields put the ball where only DJ Moore could get it. If you are a Bears fan and you've been watching Justin Fields this past 2 seasons, you're like the rest of us and you know darn well Justin Fields has never had a consistent weaponry in his offense, and he finally does, and DJ Moore is the cherry on top because he's going to be a top NFL wide receiver this season, along with all of the other weapons mixed in to where it doesn't have to all be on DJ. This is just a match made in heaven, and I can absolutely not wait until the season starts, man. The season cannot come soon enough. So those are my top 5 biggest takeaways from the first week of Bears training camp. The pads come on this week. Monday and Tuesday there's no pads, but Wednesday the pads come on, and it's really time to see what everybody is made of. So without further ado, I'm not going to hold you guys up anymore. I'm going to get to these highlights uninterrupted. If you guys enjoy these type of videos, don't be afraid to drop a like, subscribe, leave a comment. I'm trying to reply reply to everybody I possibly can. And when these highlight videos are over, go ahead and click on one of my previous videos and I'll see you guys there. Enjoy these clips.